you so much, everyone, for joining us. There's some breaking news we need to get to. I'm Tammy Fields.
And I'm Greg Angel. Nicole now upgraded to a hurricane. Category 1 hurricane. As we track this storm, President Joe Biden has already approved the emergency declaration for the state of Florida. Impacts, of course, already being felt along the East Coast and across Central Florida.
Duke Energy saying it has 5,000 crews staged and ready to go to help restore power after Nicole moves through our state. Some even coming from out of state, we're told. Florida Power and Light says it has 13,000 personnel dedicated to supporting the restoration effort.
Nicole also impacting air travel, as you can imagine. Orlando International, Sanford International, Melbourne, Orlando, Daytona Beach, all halting commercial operations as we deal with this storm. And they will assess afterwards the damage to see when they can get back open.
Let's get a check right now from three of our meteorologists standing by: Brian Carrick, Mallory Nichols, as well as Zach Covey. What is the latest?
Well, Tammy and Greg, as Zach has been mentioning and we've been discussing behind the scenes, we have had aircraft up and in and the reconnaissance coming back, and now, Nicole, a hurricane.
Yeah, I mentioned this about 30 minutes ago when they made their first pass through. We haven't had a Hurricane Hunter flight since really early this morning, but the pressure was significant, dropped. They had hurricane force winds at flight level. They were getting estimates at the surface. So this is a hurricane. However, and I want to stress this, the statistics, the movement, the cone, none of that has changed. We will get new updates coming up at about 8 o'clock. But Mallory, now the bands begin to approach our coastline at this hour.
Yeah, we're continuing to watch on Klystron 13 some of those outer bands. So now that it's a hurricane, we were expecting this. It has happened. 75-mile-an-hour winds. At this point, a lot of what's inland is that light to moderate rain, of course, with the gusty wind that's moving through. But I want to take a note here. Just off to the east of Brevard County, we have a decent band that's pushing toward the coast. This is some heavier rain and the potential for some higher winds. We're going to be keeping our eye on here as it gets closer to the east coast, and those bands are only going to pick up over the next several hours.
All right, so Nicole, now a hurricane making its way toward the west. That hasn't changed, so the track itself might actually be a little bit more to the south. We don't pay attention to the center of the cone anyway, but in any case, it will be a landfalling hurricane sometime in the wee hours of tomorrow morning. And Tammy and Greg right now kind of aiming toward West Palm, but it looks like as it starts to move a little west-northwest, it might be more the Vero Beach area, the Stewart area, and that's going to be an area that we will watch through the overnight hours.
All right, we will watch it with you. Coming off the election midterm hangover, straight into this tropical weather coverage.
Yeah, usually at this point, we kind of forget about the fact that it is still hurricane season until November 30th. Most of us usually put the threat of storms kind of behind us after Halloween.
But here we are covering a very rare late period storm. But don't worry, as always, Spectrum News 13, we are tracking the storm for you minute by minute.
Don't be scared, just be prepared. That is the tale we always hear from our team of meteorologists who have been tracking Nicole and the tropics for some time, and we are continuing to track Nicole all night, all morning.
We have a team of reporters. They have not stopped since the elections. As you can see, they are already out there, strategically placed across our state to ensure that we bring you the most in-depth coverage as Nicole targets our area. It's an area still, though, reeling from Hurricane Ian, and that is the Volusia County coast. Officials so concerned about structures along the beaches, which were already damaged by Hurricane Ian. I don't know about you, but I was very surprised to hear the sheriff say, in fact, they were afraid 2 buildings could actually collapse.
Right there on the coast. Big warning from Volusia County Sheriff Mike Chitwood. He spoke a short time ago with Spectrum News 13's Asher Wildman. Asher is live for us tonight in Volusia County. And also topping it off here, Asher, is the fact that in about 1 hour, top of 7 o'clock, those mandatory curfews go into effect in Volusia County.
Greg, Tammy, that's right. Good evening. In fact, my cameraman and I, we crossed the bridge to get back inland. So we're now in South Daytona. And on this side of the bridge, right, on the other side, on the beach side, they're looking at possible erosion and possible building collapses, as you mentioned. Here on the other side, however, when you come inland, it's potential flooding. Now, there is water on the road. In fact, the signs are already up here. This is Big Tree Road. and Palmetto. And the water in this local road, well, about ankle deep so far. But keep in mind, we haven't had those really big storms as of yet. As far as preparations in this part of town, I can tell you this homeowner over here, he's got 2 rows of sandbags up there on his garage, if you could see it. But then as you come closer and closer, no sandbags. But again, this road is drivable. But again, we've also been telling you that when it was Hurricane Ian, to stay off the roads when they do reach a point where you don't know the depth of them. So again, you don't want to get stranded in those high waters, but inland, this is what we're going to be watching in the next 24 hours, potential flooding to see if the roads are going to be closed. Again, are they going to get closer? The water level is going to get close enough to possibly impact someone's home. We saw a lot of that from Hurricane Ian. We'll have to wait and see what now Hurricane Nicole has in store for this part of Volusia County. Reporting live in South Daytona, Asher Wildman for Spectrum News.
Asher, thank you so much. One thing we've learned, if you've ever covered storms before, you know you have to get on the other side of the bridge, off the coast side, inland, or you will be stuck. You will not be going any place, whether you're the media or not.
Yeah, so Asher, appreciate that check-in from Volusia County. Just north of there in Flagler County, we have Spectrum News 13 Sandra Weathers showing us some rough rips, you know, and the white caps and all that a short time ago. How are things looking as we kind of progress further here tonight? Windy for sure.
Pitch black out there at the moment, but I can tell you that people are still coming out here to take a look at it and see. And as for now, they can still make it over the Moody Bridge. The Flagler Police Department just sent out a message just a moment ago saying that the bridge will remain open going westbound, and it will only close going eastbound if the winds reach up to 45 miles an hour or if there is some other emergency. That's the only reason why they would close the bridge. Again, people are still coming down here. The wind is kind of touch and go. We were here 30 minutes ago, and it was pretty intense. Now it's calm just a little bit. It's on and off, but people still coming out to look at it. All the businesses closed here on the street. We're going to continue to monitor the situation out here. Live in Flagler, Sandra Weathers, Spectrum News.
Sandra, thank you. Melbourne and Brevard County also expected to see some of the higher wind gusts as Nicole, Hurricane Nicole, now comes closer.
Greg Pallone, he is live in Melbourne with the conditions there. Good evening, Greg. What's the latest? I can see there is a lot of wind and some wet weather, too.
Yeah, Tammy, Greg, conditions getting worse out here on the barrier islands of Brevard County. We're in Satellite Beach at Hightower Beach Park, and this is where one of the beach accesses has been blocked off. You can see the caution tape put up by Public Works, and police were out here earlier as well. The reason for that, this beach access has become unstable and not safe. You can see a little beyond, a little tough because it's dark, but part of the steps have collapsed after the strong surf came through earlier. We're expecting high tide here in the next couple of hours as well, which will cause even more potential damage. All 16 beach accesses in Satellite Beach are closed at this time. Police are encouraging people, do not go out on the beach. Do not go over these 2x4s that have been used to block off this area. They just don't want anyone to be put in danger as this storm is rolling through.
Greg, thank you so much for that. We can't say this enough, everyone. This is not the time for sightseeing. Our crews are specially trained, years, some of them decades in the business, and they work hand in hand with the sheriff's office, police department, so that they're in a safe area to get you these pictures. You don't have to go out to see this yourself. We'll share the pictures with you.
A busy night for all of our field crews. Busy night in the Weather Center tonight as well. Mallory, Zach, Brian, they are keeping busy on tracking this now Cat 1 Hurricane Nicole.
That's right. And you know what? Zach is actually putting together some stats right now, as this is going to be a historic storm. Nicole, now a hurricane, making its way toward the east coast of Florida. We'll have the timing for you coming up with Weather in the Ones.
I was hit by a big truck and decided to call attorney Dan Newland for help. Dan won my case and got me $325,000.
If you've been involved in a car accident, allow me to fight for you. Call me now at 407-888-8000.
My favorite thing about Central Florida is the people, our neighbors, our friends, our coworkers.
There's something so special about those early morning hours, and it feels amazing to go out into the community sharing real, authentic stories.
When you connect with someone at a personal level, there's a trust.
I think it's great to start your day in a way that you feel connected, especially with the morning news. You hear about the weather, the traffic. It's everything you need to get out the door and feel like you're ready to tackle the day.
Your morning news on Spectrum News 13.
Hey, I bet the last thing you want to see right now is another Black Friday TV ad. Hey, we get it. We've all been through a lot here recently, and at the Gary Yeomans Ford 4 locations, we care about you. For decades, our name's been synonymous for serving this community. We have a special program for those affected by Hurricane Ian. Get the details at GoYeomans.com, along with many other specials available, and choose from over 1,500 vehicles. We're proud to serve you at all Gary Yeomans Ford locations. Visit GoYeomans.com.
During the Chevy Cyber Cash sales event at Bob's Deal Chevy, it's Black Friday savings every day, all month long. Our Thanksgiving gift is new Chevys, less than MSRP. That's right, over 160 new Silverados, Colorados, Equinox, Tahoes, everything's on sale with many less than MSRP. While they last, Bob's Deal has new Chevy trucks and SUVs, no payments till next year. And get up to $5,000 more for your trade. With lifetime oil changes and tire rotations. For real savings, see Steele before you make any deal.
I was crashed into by a careless driver, and attorney Dan Newland got me $510,000.
Involved in a car accident? Let's get started. Call me at 407-888-8000.
Dan, your team was the best. Thank you.
Proudly celebrating 25 years as part of the Central Florida community. Spectrum News 13, exclusively on Spectrum.
Here at 6:11 on a Wednesday, I'm Brian Carrick with Zach Covey and Mallory Nichols as we continue team coverage now of Hurricane Nicole, set to make landfall on our east coast tonight. So let's get into what we've got as far as Nicole is concerned, as the storm is moving toward the west at about 12 miles per hour. Those winds now up to 75. Notice we have an eye, and a rather large eye, that is sliding over the Bahamas. This outer band of heavier rain is heading toward the coast, and it's moving rather quickly. And we are seeing some gusts right now, recent gusts up and down the east coast over 30. Gusts about an hour ago over 60 out at Freeport. Now, as we take a look at Klystron 13, the next band coming on in, I've got a number of communities as this races back toward the south and west into Brevard County. Should be over Evans, Pines, and Floridana Beach, as well as Tropic and Indy Atlantic by 6:13. Melbourne Shores, Georgiana, and Lotus by 6:14. This is going to bring some gusty wind and briefly heavy rainfall with it, but I mentioned we've got more offshore. Also want to walk you down the I-4 corridor where we have batches of some light to occasionally moderate rain. As a matter of fact, looks like a little moderate burst up and over Lake Monroe right now. Traveling anywhere from Deltona and DeBerry back to Lake Mary and southward, you're going to be contending with some of that moderate little bursts of rain from time to time, right down into Orlando. So as we progress through tonight, watch the timing with me, and we're going to speed this up just a little bit, as that big batch I was showing you on Klystron 13 is more than likely going to be in Brevard County by 7:38, 8:30 tonight. So we'll shave about an hour or two off and get it moving a little faster. The other thing I want you to note is as we watch the heavy rain bands pick up, there will be a potential for some rotating storms tonight. So have yourself an alerting feature before you go to bed, as we will alert you. The Spectrum News app has an alerting feature. See the center of circulation coming into Brevard County? Push this south. It is more than likely going to be Indian River or St. Lucie County because it's still moving toward the west. In any case, heavy bands of rain in the morning hours. This is 6 a.m. Notice some heavy pockets of rain and wind sliding right up. And again, if we shift this south, it'd be Osceola in Polk County. This is a look at 8:45. Some of the strongest winds coming across the area between 6 and 8 or 9. As we get you into the early afternoon, I'll stop at 2. Still some lingering bands that continue to rotate off to the north at this point as the storm pulls away. Tomorrow night, rapid improvement. In any case, watching those winds, it could be in excess of hurricane force coming into Osceola County, Polk County. Again, this might be a little bit more to the south, and we'll watch it closely. But Tammy and Greg, as we get into tomorrow, things start improving rapidly into the afternoon and evening.
That's good news, Brian.
Yes.
Thank you. We want to check on people more inland at this hour. Flooding, we know, still a major concern in parts of Lake County tonight.
Spectrum News 13's Jeff Allen is live for us in Astor. How are things looking there in Lake County tonight, Jeff?
Well, you know, the rain's picking up a little bit. Still not seeing those heavy winds that we've been seeing from some of our reports along the coast. But, you know, it's really the flooding problems they've been dealing with here for weeks that are really causing a problematic scenario here. Just want to step out of the way here and show you this sign here. This is the slow no wake sign on the road here, because floodwaters are covering the roadway. If we look a little further back, you might be able to see a car that's kind of coming down the way here, and cars obviously going through here pretty slow, because even just a little bit of that driving through can push floodwaters up against people's homes here. They haven't had much flooding inside the homes, but those floodwaters have been surrounding the homes here for several weeks, and now with Nicole approaching, Hurricane Nicole, that is really causing the St. Johns River here to back up and cause those floodwaters to rise once again. We talked with one homeowner here, as you can see that car kind of slowly making its way through here, about what it's been like to just deal with those floodwaters for weeks.
We get no services here. Mail won't come, garbage. No one's come to pick up our debris. We can't even put it on the street because it'll be in water.
So really going to be keeping an eye on those floodwaters. We're told, our weather experts tell us that a major flood stage that wasn't expected to happen until tomorrow, well, they say floodwaters are now rising faster than expected. That's expected to happen tonight, major flood stage in this area. So definitely more problems for homeowners in this area. In Astor, in Lake County, Jeff Allen, Spectrum News.
Orlando International Airport closed at 4 p.m. as Tropical Storm Nicole approached Florida's Atlantic coast, bringing strong winds and rain across the peninsula.
Spectrum News 13's Alice Herman is talking with those traveling, trying to beat the storm.
Throughout the morning and afternoon, travelers leaving Orlando prepared for flight delays and cancellations due to the storm. For Noah Stewart, who visits Orlando regularly from his home state of Texas, delays are a familiar, if unpleasant, aspect of flying.
Yeah, I've had some pretty bad experiences with flights being delayed until like the next day. And if that happens, then it'll probably be like 2 days because it's supposed to be stormy all day tomorrow. So that would be really unfortunate.
This is the second time in the last 2 months that airlines have been forced to halt operations due to extreme weather in Florida. During Hurricane Ian, over 2,000 flights were canceled. Some airlines began to cancel flights well in advance of the 4 p.m. deadline today.
The flights got canceled and there was no announcement over the airport. I found out because I was roaming around asking for which gate it is.
His flight, along with all other flights to Rhode Island, were canceled after 2 p.m. due to the impending weather. Some airlines, including JetBlue and Spirit, have waived fees for changing flights due to the storm. In Orlando, Alice Herman, Spectrum News.
All right, now to Osceola County, where Sheriff Marcos Lopez wants people to know that law enforcement will be patrolling the streets during the storm. Sheriff Lopez says extra deputies are being dispersed across the area to help people in need and to try to prevent crime.
Our deputies find. I want to be clear that we will have zero tolerance for any individuals committing crimes during the storm. If you're out or up to no good, we will arrest you, and your shelter will be at the county jail for the duration of the storm and maybe longer.
Sheriff's office is closed today to residents and will be closed until Friday.
Here are your winning lottery numbers.
Spectrum News 13's Marine Forecast every hour at 21 past the hour.
This sponsorship is brought to you by Morgan & Morgan.
For the people.
No, it has to be 5-star. It's my treat.
I could get used to this.
Double chains and so many diamonds. It's the most we sell in the store.
Oh.
If they have your personal information, anyone can be you. Spectrum One keeps your personal data safe and private. That's privacy protection. That's Spectrum One.
Ron John Surf Shop.
Open daily in Cocoa Beach.
Over the years, people have asked me, how did your firm get so big? The answer is simple. We won a lot. Why do you think some of these other firms are so much smaller? Maybe it's because not many people hire them. In this business, you grow by winning. As America's largest injury law firm, we have more lawyers than any other injury firm. Proof's in the pudding. Size is our strength. There's only one Morgan & Morgan.
Welcome back to your weather on the ones. Time now is 6:21. Meteorologist Mallory Nichols here with Brian and Zach. And Nicole has just become a Category 1 hurricane, wind speeds of 75 miles per hour.
Yeah, we've seen a pretty good drop in the pressure on this one, Mal. It was 985 as the 4 o'clock, and then they just recently did the update on the hurricane, and the pressure has actually dropped. As we take you out, we get you a live shot here, and obviously now that the sun is set, our cameras are going to become a little harder to use, but you can still see some pretty good ocean action from our Bogeyman's Muds cam at Cocoa Beach, Shepherd Park. Again, now the pressure down to 980 millibars. It has winds to 75 sustained, and it is continuing to move back toward the west at 12, and it eventually will start to curl a little bit more toward the west-northwest, but on its current projection, might be coming in a little bit more over West Palm Beach than Vero Beach or Stewart. There's still some wiggle room. In any case, we are feeling the impacts. And Mal, I know that you are watching closely on Klystron 13, squalls that are starting to come in, and especially into Brevard County.
Yeah, that's right. We've had those squalls on and off throughout the day, but it does look like some of the highest winds that we've seen so far is beginning to push into Brevard County. So as we check out Klystron 13 here for you, you can see that the center of circulation is still down over the Bahamas, tracking off to the west. But I'm going to take you in here closer to Brevard County and that squall pushing inland. This is mainly from Rockledge down toward Mico. I'm going to stop this loop and put on our wind speeds so that you can see exactly where we have some of those strongest wind gusts at this time. And I've been seeing between 40 to even a few reports coming in up over 50. Not seeing any of those 50s at this point, so maybe it's backing off just a little bit as it hits that friction of land, but we still do have a decent possibility for some gusty wind with any squall that rolls through. And as we track this out for you, it is moving quickly to the southwest, so we do have areas like Deer Run at 631, Deer Park 638, Holopaw at 652. We'll be seeing some strong winds and some heavy rains rolling through.
All right, so Mallory, overnight we will be obviously watching closely the impacts increase. And for those of you in Brevard County, looks like the worst of the weather will be between 2 a.m. and 7 a.m. And we're looking at 3 to 5 inches of rainfall, winds that could be gusting over 75 miles per hour, and that surge coming up 3 to 6 feet. Into Osceola County, winds sustaining themselves of 40 to 50, the worst weather between 2 a.m. and 8 a.m. In Orange County, between about 5 a.m. and 9 a.m. with those sustained winds of 40 to 50, some gusts close to 60, if not slightly higher. Into Seminole County, you're also looking between 5 a.m. and 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. Wind gusts could be over 60 miles per hour. How about Lake County with sustained winds of 40 to 50 miles per hour? Your worst conditions between 5 a.m. and 11 a.m. Over to Sumter County between 7 a.m. and 1 p.m. because the center circulation is going to come up and over you 2 to 4 inches of rainfall. Same thing in Marion County between 7 a.m. and noon. Looks like sustained winds of 40 to 50, those gusts 50 to 60. Into Flagler County here, storm surge of 3 to 5 feet, those gusts are over 50 at times, 3 to 5 inches of rain. And between 5 a.m. and 8 a.m. into Volusia County, 2 to 4 inches of rain, expecting those winds sustaining themselves at 40 to 50 with higher gusts. Mallory, the good news, tomorrow Tomorrow evening, we'll see rapid improvement, maybe an isolated shower or storm on Friday. The weekend looking pretty darn nice.
Yeah, much better.
Yeah, lower 80s Saturday and then mid-70s behind a front on Sunday.
Thank you both. You know, for a lot of people who live near lakes like Lake Jessup, this is a very, very nervous time. We're continuing our team coverage right now, tracking Hurricane Nicole.
Continuing it with Molly Durg. She's live for us in Seminole County. And Molly, you were showing us some images earlier, and I mean, it's just, again, something we're used to, but still stunning each time, especially with the water and how it rises.
Absolutely, Greg and Tammy. So a homeowner that I spoke with earlier today in this area of Seminole County where we are is kind of off the main drag residential neighborhood. Homeowner told me quite literally, I thought we were done with this storm prep. And of course, he knows hurricane season continues. We thought maybe Florida would get a break after, of course, Ian's devastation. But here we are now, facing what's now just become Hurricane Nicole, expecting that to make landfall either later tonight or very early tomorrow morning. That homeowner I spoke with said he's very concerned about storm debris and the damage that might cause. It's a little tough to see because it's gotten dark, but we're in this neighborhood with a lot of trees. You can kind of see behind me there's a lot of trees here, and of course they're beautiful, but they become a risk whenever storm conditions strengthen. And the same exact thing goes for the water. The water that attracts so many people to move here to Florida also becomes a hazard. And I asked this homeowner if he had any advice for folks who might want to move to Florida, given all this.
Look around where you're going to be moving to, research the property, be ready for the weather here. I mean, and most people here, I enjoy December, November, February in shorts, so I'll live with this.
Yeah, so even given the risk, and this homeowner I spoke with experienced major flooding back in 2017 during Hurricane Irma. After that, he ended up elevating his home, which proved to be very successful, he tells me. The garage still was damaged, but the interior living quarters of his home was okay, unlike many of his neighbors. So for him, it's worth it. I asked him if living on Lake Jessup still is worth it after all the difficulties that they've experienced. He said yes, he's staying here. So you can see that even though it's risky, you know, we're in it for the long haul. Tammy and Greg.
All right, Molly, thank you. And I mean, that's why we live here. You know,
that's right.
It's paradise. Some of our neighbors, you know, we think about the Bahamas as well. It is paradise. This is video here from Nassau when Nicole, just a tropical storm, was kind of making its way through here.
Can you imagine being parked right here along the shore and this water is just literally crashing into the street here? This is what so many people have had to deal with, the waves washing up and overtaking the street. And this is a warning that we hear from our meteorologists all the time to stay away. Don't be in a car trying to drive when this water is coming through, because it only takes a few inches for it to literally move your car and put you in danger's way.
I'm still reminded during Ian, you know, especially in Southwest with the flooding and floodwaters up towards the top of, you know, some of the cars and things like that.
Storm surge was indescribable.
Yeah. But as we say, you know, it's part of the course for living in Florida. Don't be scared, just be prepared, and just got to make it through the next, 24 hours or so. We have a nice weekend on tap. We do have much more, though, as we continue. Every storm is different. It is a Category 1 Nicole, and we are continuing to track both Nicole plus the local impacts now and the timing. So when is it going to hit Central Florida? Our meteorologists are standing by. We'll get back to them coming up in just a few moments.
Spectrum News 13 is brought to you by Gary Yeomans Ford. The lowest pricing and largest selection. Florida says, go Yeomans.
Fellow Floridians, we understand how unpredictable weather can be in the Sunshine State. As a locally owned husband and wife team, we proudly serve Melbourne, Florida and its surrounding areas as licensed roofing professionals with over 28 years of experience. That's why our slogan is, let us do your roof right the first time. From asphalt shingle roofs to high-quality metal roofs, DC Roofing's premium materials can give your family peace of mind all year round. Give us a call today to make sure DC Roofing has got you covered.
Introducing Parish Healthcare's Health and Wellness Center, now open at Crossroads Plaza. Whether you're wanting to lose weight, build muscle, or improve your overall health, the professionals at Parrish Healthcare's Health and Wellness Center are dedicated to ensure you achieve your fitness goals. The center offers customized personal training, heart-healthy classes, and low-impact to high-intensity workout options for everyone. Visit parrishhealthcare.com/health and wellness to learn more.
When you compare homes in Jones Homes USA's 55 and Living Better communities, you'll find there's really no comparison. At Twin Lakes and the Lakes at Harmony, our new home designs are built for the way you live today. With incredible style, big kitchens, open living spaces, relaxing courtyard areas, and many luxurious included features that are usually upgrades from other builders. See for yourself how 55 and Living Better from Jones Homes USA really is better.
Auto Expo 95 is officially open. Over 350 quality pre-owned vehicles to choose from. Located right off I-95 and 520. 20 minutes from everywhere. Brevard County's hybrid headquarters and best electric vehicle selection can be found at Auto Expo 95. You get transparent pricing, 195-point inspection, and more. Your worries are defeated. Auto Expo 95. Modern car buying. Local experience.
Thank you for staying with us here on Spectrum News 13. I'm Greg Angel.
And I'm Tammy Fields. Here are your top stories in weather in 90 seconds. Disaster recovery centers set up after Hurricane Ian are closing, and that is due to incoming severe weather. All centers and mobile units are closed today. You can still apply for help online at disasterassistance.gov.
Sandbag distribution, of course, no longer an option. Orange County closed at noon today. Keep in mind, evacuation orders are also in effect in Volusia and Flagler County, starting at 7 p.m. in Flagler County.
Because of the tropical weather, NASA is pushing back the Artemis launch to November 16th. NASA says the rocket will remain on the launch pad until then. The rocket is designed to withstand winds of up to 85 miles an hour.
And we are expected to get winds in excess of that. Let's go ahead and bring in our weather experts here because they have continued to track Nicole. Mallory and Brian joining us now at 6:32. Good evening.
Good evening, Greg and Tammy. We are going to see winds that sustain themselves between 40 and 50 with gusts 60 to 75 in Brevard County. But right now, that looks like the maximum wind that we will see in Brevard County. In any case, winds right now are to 75 miles per hour. We now have a hurricane in Nicole if you're just joining us. The pressure dropped from 985 as of 4 o'clock to 980, and it's moving off toward the west at 12. It is kicking back some outer bands, and Mallory, the threat overnight is starting to increase for maybe even a little bit of rotation.
Yeah, and that's what we're really going to closely watch. At this point, no rotating storms that are pushing ashore right now. This is kind of the wide view so you can see exactly where the eye is located out over the northern Bahamas. But I am going to go in a little bit closer to Klystron 13, and you'll notice there is a decent band that is continuing to push quickly through Brevard County. I have seen gusts over 50 miles per hour, and this is pushing off to the southwest, so we'll be moving into Osceola County here very soon. More rain bands to follow for the next several hours.
All right, thank you guys. Well, as we continue to track Hurricane Nicole here, let's get to Nicole Griffin. She is live for us in Volusia County, Daytona Beach shores. And the conditions there, Asher Wildman showed us a short time ago, not the best of conditions. And it is still just kind of ramping up. What are you seeing here at this hour, Nicole?
Greg and Tammy, I mean, as you can see, the wind is just whipping right here beachside now. Just to give you some perspective, we're right near the resort, or the Shores Resort rather, and our weather experts tell me that it is up to 41 miles an hour now. If you could see, things are flying by. But I want to give you a look. They have shut down the beaches. They put up these fences earlier that attach them to the wall here, and it's just no match for the wind here, causing some major issues for homeowners along the beach that just suffered damage from Ian just a couple weeks ago, and now having to sit and wait to see what Hurricane Nicole brings to their front doors. Now, as you were referencing earlier, we were seeing some storm surge even while Nicole was just a tropical storm here at some of the beach access points. We're seeing storm surge get into one of the public restrooms and one of the car access points points here in Daytona Beach, and that was just a couple hours ago in the shores, rather. So it most likely will continue to get worse. If you can see here, it is just a light rain, but because that wind is just so strong, trying to clear the camera there, it is raining sideways. So definitely a good time to be indoors right now. Just a reminder, this is an evacuation zone. People were told to leave earlier today, which because of all the damage of Ian and several hotels here being damaged, it's also been a struggle for people to find a place to ride out this storm safely. But we'll keep you updated here in the shores. For now, reporting live, Nicole Griffin, Spectrum News.
Really concerning conditions there. Nicole, thank you so much. Our team coverage, it continues along the coast.
Sandra Weathers, live for us in Flagler County, where you've been spending the last few hours. How are conditions there tonight?
Well, Greg, we don't have a whole lot to show you because it is pitch black over here where the water is, but that hasn't stopped people from coming out here. There's some people using the flashlights on their phone trying to light it up out there so they can see those white caps. The police were out here as well. They were checking over using a flashlight to make sure the pier was still standing. It is very badly damaged. They also told me about a road just south of where we are that has been closed down. This A1A just south of 7th Avenue, I believe. That is closed down, and the reason why they said they had to close it down is because during Hurricane Ian, they said these large rocks were shifted and thrown onto the roadway, and it could be a danger for anyone traveling down in that direction. So that is why they closed down the road there. There's also a lot of erosion they say they've noticed since early this morning. So a lot of people are preparing to figure out what is it going to look like in the morning. I spoke with one of the community members here. He says he's showing up at 6 a.m. and he's going to start doing some damage assessment, hoping that nothing is really badly damaged. But he says this storm kind of hit them by surprise. They didn't think it was going to be as strong, so they made some preparations, but maybe not as much as they would have had they known it would have reached to the level of a hurricane. So again, we're going to continue to monitor this situation out here tonight and bring you the very latest. Reporting live from Flagler Beach, Sandra Weathers, Spectrum News 13.
The Brevard County government has now issued a recommended evacuation ahead of Nicole. Because of the current conditions, U.S. Coast Guard officials are ordering all ships under 500 gross tons to evacuate Port Canaveral. Coast Guard also urging residents and businesses to clean up any loose debris. Rusty Fisher Sr. is heeding the warning. He says he knows how much damage storms like this can cause.
I hope nothing happens. You know, I hope we're all safe. I hope the beach doesn't get eroded. You know, that's a big worry. You know, now, I mean, especially right after Ian. So, you know, we're praying that everything's going to be okay, you know.
U.S. Coast Guard also advising people to keep their boats off the water or secure the boat. Coast Guard's men also say if anyone encounters any issues at sea, you can call the Coast Guard on channel 16 or 911. Destination Space News delayed again. That's the latest announcement from NASA on the Artemis 1 rocket launch. The moon mission now blasting off no earlier than Wednesday, November 16th. The rocket was brought to the launch pad last week ahead of the scheduled launch on the 14th. NASA says it's going to keep Artemis on the pad, calling it the safest option for the launch hardware. Rocket is designed to withstand winds up to 85 miles per hour. Counties and municipalities around Central Florida have open storm shelter locations for people looking for a safe place to stay as the storm rolls through. For a full list of the shelter sites, check out our website, mynews13.com, or on the Spectrum News app.
Spectrum TV brings you more ways to watch your favorites, online, on demand, and on the Spectrum TV app. Ready to deck the halls with your cooking competition favorites on Food Network? With Spectrum and Food Network, you can walk through a winter wonderland on shows like Holiday Baking Championship and Holiday Wars. Watch live, on demand, and on all of your devices with the Spectrum TV app. Download the Spectrum TV app on all your devices today.
Before you hire a personal injury lawyer, just ask them this. How many trials have they had in their lifetime? Our firm had more than 10 trials last month. And we could run this ad on TV forever, and that would still be true for every month. Here's the thing. Because the other side knows we'll take the fight all the way, we're able to settle hundreds of personal injury cases for fair compensation every single month. There's only one Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
Hi, honey. Hey, Mom. How's it going? Did Nana Stuffing have rosemary or thyme? Both. Yeah, both, of course. Oh, you found them.
Yeah, I got it.
Let me see it. Okay. Like it, sure. Really? Hello again. Is it 300 or 350? 350. We had the best time. Look.
I'm just letting it cool for a few minutes.
How's everything going there? It's a little quiet, you know, just me and Dad. We miss you. I think it was you who ate the pie, dear. I did not. Dad was there. Ask him. Oh, I gotta go, Mom. Okay, honey, love bye. You. Bye.
Hasn't she made that stuffing like 1,000,000 times before?
For over 40 years, Alpazar Law has been the name Brevard trusts for help after a car crash. Contact us today to discuss your case. Alpazar Law, we're here for you.
It is now 6:41 on a Wednesday. I'm Brian Carrick with Mallory Nichols. Live team coverage. Zach is headed home to get some sleep after a busy few days. We will eventually see Chris Gilson in here shortly, and overnight we'll also welcome Maureen back into the picture as we continue watching the storm in Nicole. Hurricane Nicole, with winds to 75, is moving toward the west at 12. It looks like it's kind of wobbling a little bit in the last frame here, a little bit more to the west northwest, and on that path looks like it's going to take it up very close to West Palm Beach. We'll get into the timing in just a minute. Recent gusts to 56 miles per hour in Freeport as the center of circulation, the eye, is moving over near the island and Freeport there in the Bahamas, and up and down our coast, gusts over 30. Got a recent gust of 41 up there in Daytona Beach. So let's get over to Klystron 13 and this batch of heavy rain that is sliding out of Brevard County now into Osceola County. Also looking at some gusty wind. As a matter of fact, I want to take a quick look at the wind as we are seeing some gusts in here that have been approaching 40 to 50 miles per hour. Haven't had anything confirmed, but notice out near Kenansville, that is a gust in a little band that is over 60. According to radar, it is up just a little ways off the ground, but in any case, one of those heavier bands. And notice some of the bright greens that are starting to come toward Canaveral and Cocoa Beach. Also looking at some winds that could start to exceed 50 to 60 miles per hour. Other areas of rain as we go back over to Klystron 13. We've got a little batch of some light rain stretch from Volusia County down through Seminole, Orange, and into Osceola and Polk County. These little bands of rain are going to continue to move on in as we progress through tonight. So the latest model runs showing us the rain coming up at 7:30. Let's put a little heavier rain in Osceola and into Polk County. Center of circulation coming in. This is 11:15. Another batch of very heavy rain and wind coming toward Brevard County. The center of circulation is going to be coming close to Indian River County, probably about 2 or 3. Our latest model kind of brings it toward Brevard County, but let's push this a little bit more to the south. In any case, widespread locally heavy rainfall pockets as well as strong wind. Worst impacts coming up across Orange and Seminole County. This is 6:15 tomorrow morning. The center of circulation will be down into Osceola County at this point, but we are still going to be looking at impacts area-wide through mid-morning tomorrow. This is at 11:30 as the center pulls up and toward the Nature Coast and continues up toward the Big Bend. 2:30 tomorrow afternoon, we'll get some big breaks in between these bands that are rotating around the center of circulation, and by tomorrow evening, rapid improvement starts coming on in. The winds at their strongest into Indian River and southern Brevard County could hold on to hurricane force winds here tomorrow morning in parts of Polk and Osceola County. But notice as we progress through the day, the wind does start to come down, and we are really looking at improvement tomorrow night. Greg and Tammy, on Friday right now, it looks like temperatures lower 80s, and the sunshine is set to make a return.
That mandatory evacuation in Volusia County also includes those living in manufactured homes east of Interstate 95. All campsite and RV recreational parks. Volusia County Sheriff Mike Chitwood also announcing today there will be a curfew from 7 tonight to 7 Thursday morning.
More help is standing by from the National Guard. Governor Ron DeSantis authorized the activation of 570 Florida National Guardsmen to support the response. The state says those forces are actively pre-staging throughout the state to be ready for a quick response wherever they're needed. As you can see from these photos from the Boynton Beach Police Department, Boynton Beach and Palm Beach County is currently being affected by storm surge. Water levels are slowly rising, and it's causing major flooding here throughout the county.
Counties and municipalities around Central Florida have open storm shelter locations for people looking for a safe place to stay as the storm rolls through. For a full list of the shelter sites, check out our website, mynews13.com, or on the Spectrum News app. Less than a week ago, a couple from Georgia exchanged vows, and they're now spending their honeymoon in Citrus County.
Following Hurricane Ian, though, and with this storm with Nicole inching closer, the newlyweds share with Spectrum News 13's Fadia Patterson. Those vows have been put to an immediate test.
Newlyweds Chris and Kirsten England are collecting sandbags and preparing their vacation home in Crystal River for whatever Nicole may bring in their direction.
We're hoping for just some wind, because you know there's an old saying, you shelter from wind and run from water.
Chris spent his childhood in Fort Myers Beach and says he's devastated by the damage caused by Hurricane Ian.
You know, it had survivor's guilt. It was just, I couldn't turn the TV off.
Ian was also a wake-up call for the couple who were just married last week.
We got married at our lake house in Cumming, Georgia.
For their honeymoon, the couple planned to spend a week in Crystal River. Both are U.S. Coast Guard licensed captains who were hoping to enjoy sailing and manatee season. But Mother Nature has changed their course.
We were not expecting.
No.
Their Florida home sits on a canal along Kings Bay.
The floating docks are sitting on the ground right now. Normally they'd be floating in 3 or 4 feet of water, but they're actually sitting on the ground because the water's being sucked out of the canal.
Because of the possibility of flooding and power outages, the couple expects to hunker down for the next few days.
So we do have water intrusion potentially through the garage.
Though not expected, the couple has accepted what they call their hurricane honeymoon.
Yes, we love the area, we love the people. We wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
And the newlyweds say they're prepared to ride out life's storms for better or for worse. In Crystal River, Fadia Patterson, Spectrum News.
Attractions Insider, a weekly Spectrum News podcast with the inside scoop on your favorite Florida attractions. Available now on the Spectrum News app.
Spectrum News 13 is committed to helping today's students become tomorrow's scientists through Project Weather. Congratulations to the 2022 scholarship winners for their dedication and achievement. We are now accepting applications for the 2023 Project Weather scholarships. If you're a high school senior who excels in science, head to our website to find out how to apply. Spectrum News 13, exclusively on Spectrum.
Mike Erdman Cadillac, quality you can trust. 32 years of business, located in beautiful Merritt Island, Florida. New luxurious Cadillacs and over 350 plus quality pre-owned vehicles to choose from. Expectations are exceeded with the Mike Erdman Cadillac VIP Family Plan. Complimentary no-cost maintenance, plus 100% customer satisfaction guarantee. Mike Erdman Cadillac, quality you can trust. Call or visit us today.
Are you looking for a high-quality roof or dock from a professional and customer-oriented contractor? We've got you covered at DC Roofing and Marine Construction. Family-owned and operated with over 28 years' experience. With our top-of-the-line equipment, we can design and build a one-of-a-kind roof or dock to your specifications. We work hard for you and pride ourselves in delivering 5-star service to all of our customers. Let us do your roof or dock right the first time. Call DC Roofing and Marine Construction today.
Since 1974, we have worked hand in hand with our neighborhood farmers to bring you not only the produce you want, but that you deserve. We believe in food that is fresh, locally sourced, and organic. We are Sunseed Food Co-op.
Proudly celebrating 25 years as part of the Central Florida community. Spectrum News 13, exclusively on Spectrum.
Welcome back to your weather on the ones. Time now is 6:50. I'm meteorologist Mallory Nichols with Chief Meteorologist Brian Carrick, and we are tracking now Hurricane Nicole, the eye of Nicole over the northern Bahamas and continuing to slide toward the East Coast.
Yeah, as it's moving along, Mallory, it is starting to kick back some more in the way of our outer bands, and I'm going to give you a look at Klystron 13. Mallory's going to walk through a couple of those bands coming up. I want to take you out to our beach, though. We've got just enough lights from our Bogeymunds and Muds Camp at Cocoa Beach Shepherd Park to show you how we are starting to bring the tide up, and the East Coast tides over the next hour or two will start to reach high tide. Combine that with the strong wind and the waves, and the beach erosion continues in these areas. So this is a Brevard County shot. It looks like we're going to get Nicole coming on in just south of Brevard County, but that is still going to continue to pile the wind toward the coast and pushing the surge up. The currents on Nicole with winds to 75 miles per hour. It is moving westerly at 12 miles per hour, and I looked at the latest wobble, almost a little more west-northwest, and that is what we're expecting overnight, and eventually a landfall somewhere near West Palm Beach, maybe just north of West Palm Beach, tomorrow morning, in the very wee hours of tomorrow morning. Mallory, overnight, the concern as we continue to see outer bands rotate around is that we could start to spin in some of these storms.
Yeah, we do have that risk, slight risk, that a few of the bands pushing inland could spin up an isolated tornado. So before you maybe head off to bed tonight, have a way to be alerted while you sleep, just in case a tornado warning is issued for your area. But as we check out Klystron 13, we do have some bands that are starting to push in at this point. A heavier one moving out of Brevard County at this time into Indian River and Osceola County, but also noticing a few heavier showers that are in northern Brevard County up into Volusia County. I do want to stop this and check out the winds that are embedded in this particular band that is quickly moving through. It's sitting between about 30 to 40. If I go a little closer to the coast, slightly higher. Every now and then I'm seeing those winds to 50. So certainly going to be picking up with bands that are pushing through, and we're only going to see this increase here over the next several hours.
And as you mentioned, Mallory, probably get yourself the Spectrum News app. If you don't have it, a way to alert yourself. You know what? As we see county by county impacts, Brevard County, worst weather for you is between 2 and 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. And we are looking at sustained winds of 50 to 60. Those gusts could easily be to 75, maybe a little bit higher in this time frame, depending on where the actual center of circulation comes onshore. So all of our impacts subject to the change based on our track. Worst weather here in Osceola County between 2 a.m. and 8 a.m. Looks like sustained winds of 40 to 50. We may see gusts over 60 to 65 miles per hour in Osceola County. Same thing as we get you into Orange County. Worst weather 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. Sustained winds of 40 to 50, gusts over 60. How about a look at Seminole County? Not much different than Orange County. The worst weather between 5 a.m. and 9 a.m. tomorrow. Worst weather for those of you in Lake County between 5 a.m. and 11 a.m. 2 to 4 inches of rain expected for you. 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. Thursday here in Sumter County, and I'm going to extend that out in Marion County as well. It says noon, but let's go with 1 p.m. Thursday. Sustained winds 40 to 50, those higher gusts over 60 miles per hour, not out of the question. Into Flagler County, 3 to 5 inches of rain. The storm surge 3 to 5 feet. Worst conditions for you between 6 and 9. 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. in Volusia County. Sustained winds that are going to be 40 to 50 with higher gusts. But Mallory, some great news coming in as we see conditions really improve by Friday and into the upcoming weekend.
Yeah, just have to get through the next 24 to 36 hours and then much better.
People in our area were making speedy last-minute preparations ahead of Nicole's landfall.
The Spectrum News 13 Celeste Springer spent the day in Daytona Beach, where a lot of folks are bracing for Nicole's impacts.
As high tides crash along Daytona Beach shores, Paul Rodriguez is across the bridge going the extra mile to prepare.
Unfortunately, with the hurricane
Ian that came through before, we lost power for about 6 days.
All of this is going in his new generator. He jokes he needs these gas prices like he needs a hole in the head. But hey, $80 in gas is cheaper than replacing a fridge full of food.
I was stuck on the line for maybe 3 hours with FEMA to find out that I didn't qualify for the food reimbursement. So all that food in the freezer and stuff I lost is gone.
A native New Yorker, Paul moved to Florida 7 years ago. With his experience in hurricanes, he's glad this is the last thing on his list.
This is the last of it, thank God. I've already cleared my yard. I've already put some sandbags around the house. This was the last of my tasks, to get gas and get the generator tested and started and get the extra gas home.
And even though his first home was New York,
here it seems to be people a lot more helpful. They're helping faster to help each other out.
he knows his neighbors here got his back too. Reporting in Volusia County, Celeste Springer, Spectrum News.
In your health, the health department is reminding you to have enough of your prescriptions on hand in the event that pharmacies are temporarily unavailable.
Florida Department of Health is working with emergency managers across the state to prepare for any impacts from this storm. They're also reminding health insurers about a state law which allows for early prescription refills in the event the governor issues an executive order declaring a state of emergency. The department has sent out an alert to all health entities saying under a state of emergency, Floridians are permitted to receive early prescription refills regardless of typical limits. Mandate lasts until the governor's executive order is rescinded or expires.
Disney World announced that its theme parks and resorts will be closed ahead of Tropical Storm Nicole. They say that they're closely monitoring the storm and making adjustments based on the latest information from the National Weather Service. Walt Disney World Resort theme parks will have a phased closure today, beginning at 5 p.m., and will remain closed through tomorrow. Our Attractions Insider team is constantly updating new closures and announcements, so be sure to check us out on the Spectrum News app.
The expert injury attorneys at Todd Minor Law are proud supporters of our local community. Now, here's a look at some great upcoming events.
Closed captioning is brought to you by New Teeth Now. In only one day, New Teeth Now can change your life with a new smile. We treat patients others turn away.
I was in a very bad car accident, and attorney Dan Newling got me $750,000.
If you've been involved in a car accident, allow me to fight for you. Call me now at 407-888-8000.
Thank you, Dan.
It's always worth it. When you get to tell the accident victim, when you get to tell the person who's been uprooted or feeling hopeless, we won. You won.
That's why we do it. That's why you choose Bogan Munson Munts.
I just couldn't stay in shape like I used to. But luckily, I found Nugenix.
Nugenix is a unique man-boosting formula that helps increase your free testosterone levels. To get a complimentary bottle, text RANK to 369-369.
There's never been a better time to get away. With a great deal on the Hyundai you've always wanted. With America's best warranty and up to 3 years complimentary maintenance. It's your journey. Own every mile at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Hurry in to get our best deals of the season. Get in and get away. Get 0% APR financing plus 0 payments for 90 days on select vehicles. Now, during the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event.
At Bears Furniture, shop the brands you love for less during our Veterans Day sale. Save 40% plus an extra 10% store-wide, including 10% off all Lexington products. Plus, Bears salutes all veterans with free in-home delivery, like this gorgeous loft bed, only $8.98. Or relax in the living room of your dreams with this luxurious leather sectional at the guaranteed lowest price. We have thousands of items in stock and ready for holiday delivery through Sunday only. Where? Bears.
I was hit by a careless driver and badly injured, and attorney Dan Newland got me $1,250,000. Thank you, Dan.
Involved in a car accident? Call me at 407-888-8000.
Proudly celebrating 25 years as part of the Central Florida community. Spectrum News 13, exclusively on Spectrum.